Can I live? Can I live?
Take the bass line up.
Welcome back to ATG TV, and today we are dealing with Glenn Beck, who is completely retarded for making such a statement that Barack Obama is racist. Now, what I'm going to do is I've compiled a compilation so that this can be used as a rudder or a template, so that if there's anyone out there that is unsure whether or not Glenn Beck is a shield for the powers that be, then this right here is going to be absolute proof of that. So I've made a compilation of videos so that you don't have to hear me speak on things that I'm reading actual dialogue, or I'm reading scripts, you know, from what he's actually said. No. This is going to be the actual video so that you can get the entire feel for the scenery of what's been done. And matter of fact, I want you to pay attention to the concept of whoever is in control of the media, especially his show, because he tries to operate as someone that's neutral, that's trying to be, you know, unbiased about his opinions. I'm going to show you how he's basically put forth to try to stir energy within the community, within the public, to try to think a particular way, okay, to get people maybe off topics that really need to be dealt with.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people or the white culture. I don't know what it is.
You can't say he doesn't like white people. David Axelrod's white. Rahm Emanuel's his chief of staff are white. I think 70% of the people that we see every day are white. Robert Gibbs is white.
I'm not saying that he doesn't like white people. I'm saying he has a problem. This guy is, I believe, a racist.
Now this is crazy now, because you wouldn't dare hear anyone during Bush's reign, you wouldn't hear anyone call President Bush a racist like that. Especially not anyone that's supposed to be what he considers himself to be, a commentator or any type of a journalist or reporter. You may get Kanye West to say something like that, but you won't get a mainstream media pundit or talk show host to say anything like that when Bush was in power. So this is very interesting, the way that the energy is being swirled around. Now check this out. Now let's go for his credibility. Let's show you how he sensationalizes, and Whoopi Goldberg on The View called him out. Let's roll clip 2. Let's go.
Let me just because wait a minute.
You're accusing me of lying. Let me tell you what.
Lie. What do you mean I'm accusing you? You sat there and you were a lying sack of dog mess. Come on, man. You lied. You know what's
I mean, did you not think that I knew this was coming? Did you not think I knew this was coming? I have no problem.
I don't care if you knew what it was.
No problem.
Why did you lie, Glenn? Why did you try to make some stuff up about Barbara and I? That's what I'm trying to find out.
I'm sorry that I, to use Nancy Pelosi's words, misspoke about being you calling me over. You did not call me over. I went over.
Caught him in a bald-faced lie. Now watch this. Now, if you thought that Michael Jackson could do the moonwalk, if you thought that Usher knew how to, you know, swirl around, watch how Glenn Beck does the moonwalk when he starts talking about FEMA camps and how he's gung-ho for exposing them later on when he does his show. But for whatever reason, somebody got to him. Now this clip is actually kind of old, but I just wanted to use this as extra ammunition to show you that Glenn Beck is a fraud completely. Many of you out there already know that, okay? But there are others out there that are not aware, so that's why I compiled these videos. But check this out. Check out how he backtracks, starts the moonwalk and back up, and then turn around and say something completely different later on. Okay? Just check this out. Roll clip 3. Go.
Beyond your wildest imagination, I have to tell you, I'm doing a story tonight that I wanted to debunk these FEMA camps. I'm tired of hearing. You know about them?
Sure.
I'm tired of hearing. I wanted to debunk them. Well, we've now for several days done research on them. I can't debunk them. And we're going to carry the story tonight.
I don't know anything about him. So
it is our government. If you trust our government, it's fine. If you have any kind of fear that we might be headed towards a totalitarian state, look out, buckle up. There's something going on in our country that is ain't good. Name the monster in the dark and have no fear. There are more of us than there are of them. We just have to be honest and open about it. Okay, so they're not FEMA trailers, FEMA prisons, FEMA camps. These are actual prisons that were built under the Bush administration, and they were built specifically for a couple of reasons. One was for a massive influx of illegal immigrants that we would have to jail. Now they're sitting there empty. If you got a problem in California, why aren't we using those? But why aren't we using those?
That's FEMA, federal emergency. What's that have to do with immigration? That's an I word.
It's an odd thing. It has nothing to do with that. Business in California.
And these FEMA camps are all over the U.S.?
Yes.
And they're all empty?
Yeah. Yeah. And they're all, and look, here's the thing.
So that's what you're talking about tonight.
You'll see that tonight, and I tell you, it just something doesn't sit right with me. You know, we were talking off the air. We have a standing battalion in this country in Maryland. It's not the National Guard. My show is going to send out letters to all of the governors. I want all the governors on record saying they will not allow the United States Army or any branch of the military unless they call them up. You know,
what's this battalion supposed to do?
It's for emergencies. It's for civil unrest.
So it's like the National Guard?
But it's not the National Guard.
It's a super guard.
It's a super guard.
When did it start?
August. It was. They say it was for September 11th, but it was actually put into place this last August.
So you're saying that we had trouble recruiting for a while for the military, but you're saying we didn't have any trouble forming this force, and who pays for it?
The United States government. You do. Your tax dollars are going to pay for it.
I know
it's against the Constitution.
All right.
I told you that I was going to tell you about the FEMA camps or the FEMA prisons today. This is something that I snapped on the air because somebody called me up and said, why don't you talk about the FEMA prisons? And I said, can we just settle the FEMA prison thing? I don't believe in the FEMA prison. If you don't know, I'll tell you about it in a couple of days. I was going to talk about it today, but as I came in and did the show this morning, and then I went into my office and I was looking at all the research that had been compiled, and it wasn't complete. And I am not willing to bring something to you that's half-baked. If these things exist, that's bad, and we will cover it. If they don't exist, it's irresponsible to not debunk this story. We have an independent group on this program looking into it, turning over every stone. I am going to bring you this story. This program is not beholden. This is going to drive the conspiracy theorists crazy. Let me, I'll add this. They're making me say this. Help. We don't know what the truth is anymore. We don't have anybody we can trust. And there's a lot of stuff, and I've told you before, and I've told you for a long time on the internet, please don't pass these things around on the internet unless you know they're true. And I think it is important for us to debunk those things or verify those things that are out there, because we're separating on the truth now. So I asked James from Popular Mechanics to do an investigation on several projects. The first one is the FEMA camp.
Yes, and so we put a reporter on this, and what's so interesting here, we're waiting to really do a definitive deep dig on this. We don't like to just come out and say, oh, we've debunked it, you know, after we've looked at it for 2 days. But it looks from our early reporting like a classic conspiracy theory, little grains of truth, but all adding up to something that really isn't true.
They are so specific on the internet. And this is why I was going to do an expose on this, and I thought that we had some of the things from the internet, and we weren't ready to go on with them. All we had was the grains of truth.
Now, in closing, just in case you didn't know, whenever the media tries to bring in Popular Mechanics as someone that has all the right answers that we can all trust. Remember, these are the same people that did the debunking idea on 9/11. And it was shown that Benjamin Chertoff, who was the chief editor of Popular Mechanics, was actually the cousin of Michael Chertoff, who is head of Homeland Security, Secretary of Homeland Security. So he was actually his cousin. So obviously, if he's going to write an article about 9/11, it would be in his invested interest to debunk the concepts of 9/11 as far as the conspiracy theories behind it. You see? Especially if his cousin is heading up the security force that's actually going to be in charge of the entire United States of America. Which I find even interesting, that when Germany, when they did their own Reichstag burning, which is equivalent to our Capitol building, when they had that fake fire, they formed Fatherland Security. The SS formed Fatherland Security, similar to Homeland Security. They called it Reichssicherheitsamt. Reichssicherheitsamt. That's what they called it. You know, so that's very interesting to me. So thank you for tuning in. Hope this was educational. Until next time.